waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he shit out of love.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, March the 12th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, everyone.
What are you eating there, Mr. Samurai?
I'll show you the wrapper.
Oh, it's a Milky Way.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you eating a Milky Way today?
National Milky Way Day.
Happy National Milky Way Day.
These were my mother's favorites.
They were.
Yep, she'd buy a bag of these, and
you'd eat them all.
no one was allowed to eat the damn things.
They were hers. That was it.
Yeah, she'd hide them. She'd hide the remember Big Wheels? They became King Don's eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she'd hide all the Hostess or Drake's stuff, and
that was just all hers. That was it. Her stash. Hands off.
And the thing is, I always thought that was really mean and all that until I became a parent and I had voracious kids, and they just eat everything in the house.
This is true.
So
this is true. Well, I said I was going to try and pick up a Milky Way on the way home. I did not. I was remiss. I got home. I totally forgot. So I grabbed a Lindor.
that's
So
not.
it's not a Milky Way, but I figured I'd have a piece of chocolate with you. That's why I was on it. There you go, sir.
Well,
It's got caramel in it. There's no nougat though, so
no nougat. But at least you'll get the taste of mold out of your mouth.
this is true.
I'm sure. I hear you had a fun day
That was fun.
doing all
We'll
that
leave it-
cleaning.
we'll
We'll
leave
leave
it
it there. Yeah.
We'll leave it there. Okay. Anyway, what else is today?
I'd like to wish all the Aztecs out there a Happy New Year.
Happy Aztec New Year.
I wish I spoke Aztec to be able to say it properly.
Is that a language? Is there an Aztec language? I mean, it's different than other tribal languages or whatever.
You would think so, right? It would have to be. There's that. Or maybe it was a new. Maybe it's a new year for that ugly ass Pontiac that was made.
Maybe that's what it is. The Pontiac Aztec. Happy New Year for that particular vehicle.
I had one of those. It was a great car. Yes, it was ugly.
Ugly, but a great car. It was a good ugly.
It was good.
It was good ugly.
As long as you were in it, it was amazing. You had to step outside of it.
Not so much.
You had to hold your lunch down.
Exactly. Yeah. And I can't help but notice your office is a little messy.
It was just because the albums fell over. That's actually not part of the office. You can't see the office because the camera's facing this way.
Oh, I guess. Well, I can see the office. I could see the office in your eyes.
In your eyes, the light, the heat. Oh,
there you go.
That's not the song I'm quoting in my thing here.
Exactly.
It's under the Milky Way tonight for those people trying to figure that out. So what the quote is under my thing. It is supposed to be organize your home office, and John and I both broadcast from our home office.
And you see right here from here to here.
It's really neat.
It's neat.
Everything else is
over here or over here. So that's the important thing.
I mean, I can take my camera and I can show you that this is a mess. That's a mess.
No, that's a chicken.
Well, that is a chicken, but there's a mess around the chicken.
That's true. All right.
So one of these days, I'm gonna have to get around to organizing the home office.
Well, happy Organize Your Home Office Day. After we're done with the show tonight, maybe you can get to it, or maybe just go to bed,
or just grab the garbage can and sweep everything into it.
All right. I'm thirsty. What about you?
I'm thirsty too.
Right, so
from what I understand, we have two guests on tonight.
We have two guests. Two for the price of one tonight.
2 minutes and one.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show Chris Mock and Jeff Mauriello from Double Tap Brewing. Jeff, Chris.
Oh, sorry. I was
Hey,
getting
how
I'm getting the Milky Way off my face. Dave sent me a Milky Way. It was delicious.
It was good, wasn't it?
Mailed them out.
Yeah.
Yours must have got lost in the mail, John.
Mine got lost in the mail. Well, you know what?
Just
the
like
mail around here. With the mail around here, seriously, I'll probably get it in July, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, this is probably wherever Dave Campanille's link was last week.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jeff, Chris, how are you guys tonight?
Doing great.
Well,
doing awesome.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Hey, we're very happy to have you on. We want to have you on for a while. Chris and I were talking about that in Jersey City a few weeks ago. Let's pour some beers and then we'll get to some talking.
Yes, please.
All right. Let's Chris, what are you drinking? You go first. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Double Tap McFeely's Irish Stout we pour on nitro.
McFeely's Nitro Irish Stout. Very
Oh,
nice.
that wasn't on tap when I was there.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Did I miss it?
It was.
Ah, damn
Now,
it.
do you know?
Damn
Do,
it.
do you know where we get the name McFeely's?
That's a good one.
Think back to your childhood.
Purely familiar.
So Jeff was saying to me, "There's got to be an Irish postman somewhere that we can name."
Yes.
And
Mr.
Mr. McFeely,
Mr. McFeely.
Mr. Rogers Postman.
Mr.
Yep,
McFeely. Yep.
that's
I
right.
like it. Very nice.
And, you know, when
Can't get
when
away,
you
can't
first
get away
say
with
to
that name
someone-
anymore.
You can't. No, that's awesome. Can't,
No.
Mr. McFeely. Yeah, you can't. You couldn't.
It does.
can't-
When you say
you
it
can't
to
in a
people,
brewery.
It sounds a little creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
It does, but it's especially when it's on the children's show.
yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely couldn't get away with it on a kid's show.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, what are you drinking?
So I am drinking a Volksgarten from. You can't see me because I'm all blurred. This is from Schilling up in New Hampshire.
Yes.
Lovely
It's their Vienna lager,
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a very
and
Very
it's a great beer. It's a little different than a lot of Vienna lagers I'm finding nowadays. It has a really dry and really bitter finish, which is typically what you should get in a Vienna lager.
Mhm.
But it's delicious. Really is nice.
nice.
That's
Awesome. There we go. And it must be because we both said it at the same time.
Yeah.
There you go. Samurai, what are you up? You're up. What are you drinking?
Well, I'm going to follow in Chris's footsteps and pre-celebrate St. Patrick's Day double tap style.
It's only 5 days
Nice.
away, so you can do that.
Yes. So I am the Red Room Irish style red ale.
Nice.
So no, it is nice. It's nice. You don't have to. We'll talk up your beers for you. You don't have to do it. It's good, and I'm doing it in appropriate glassware. Right, we've got the. It's hard to see because there's. I thought I fixed the friggin' problem with the light reflection, but I guess not. But this is the 1 year anniversary glassware, and you guys have been open a year and how many months now?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Oh, yeah, year and a half this month.
So like 6.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh, I broke a rule.
What's that?
I mathed.
You mathed. Yeah, you can't do that. No math on the show. All right, so. And just to round it out, I am drinking a Terrifica.
How Terrifica is that?
It's Terrifica. It says it's an Italian style horror pills.
Horror pills.
Horror pills.
What's
From
a
Wait-
horror pills?
I'm not exactly sure, but since I take a sip of it, I'll let you know. From Wayfinder, I think it's a collab with Heater Allen, actually.
It's got to be
Peter
a take.
Allen.
Heater Allen, yeah.
It's got to be a take off of Suspiria,
Maybe.
because that's what probably the most well-known Italian horror movie.
It's an Italian pills. It's delicious, but I don't taste any horror in it. Let's put it that way.
Not that
And I
scary.
I had to put it in shameless plug glassware. So
There you go.
It is.
Shameless
It is.
plug.
there you go. So anyway, all right, got the beers out of the way.
Nice.
Let's get this party started, so to speak. First question we ask everybody. Let's get it going. We'll start with Chris.
Mhm.
To the best of your recollection, what's the first craft beer you ever had?
First
It-
craft beer.
It can
I
be
would
an
kinda have to
ish.
say. Yeah, it's an ish. It's probably a Newcastle brown ale.
There you go.
Well,
You know.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
I drank a lot of those back in the day.
I did too back in the day.
Yeah.
As
Before I knew that clear glass is not a good thing.
Right.
exactly. Yeah, I drank plenty myself. Jeff, yours?
Other than Guinness, which was all over the place at the time, I remember hanging in Hoboken when I was older teen, still not at legal drinking age, and trying Anchor Steam and thinking it was both incredibly delicious but so bitter,
Oh, sure.
you know, to new taste buds.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that
certainly.
was probably it.
Yeah, I always say that when the first time I had an IPA, like an actual true IPA, like bitter, grassy IPA, not just like a English pale ale, a little bitterness. I almost did a spit take. Was like, what the hell's in my mouth? Now I'll just give me a hand of hops and I'll eat them. That kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll adjust. But yeah, that's a fantastic first beer. Well, both of them are, but yeah, Anchor Steam for the first, and got to tip the hat to Anchor. Hopefully the
Absolutely.
brand comes back. That's what they're trying
Yeah.
for.
I'm happy. The very last Anchor Steam I had was actually on tap in San Fran,
There you
fall of last year.
Beautiful.
go. There you go. All right. Okay. Let's talk about some beer. Other beer. Your beer.
Their beer.
Local beer. All right. All right. So you both of you brew, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Obviously, you were both brewing before you opened the brewery. So, Jeff, we'll start with you. When did you first start home brewing or brewing? Period.
So my first batch was probably mid '90s with some roommates.
Okay.
We just figured we'd try and make some beer, and it was as expected, oxidized and phenolic. It was growed before any of us knew about, temperature control and yeast pitch rates and things like that.
and
We made a
cleaning.
Hefeweizen. Yeah, and clean. We used to clean. They would tell you a tablespoon of bleach in a 5-gallon bucket, something like that. But
Yep.
we made a Hefeweizen pale ale and maybe something. Oh, probably an Irish red ale. That's everyone's first beer as a home brewer, right?
Right.
And then just got away from it and just started drinking regular craft beer. And then it's funny I always laugh at this because for a brewer, I actually got back into craft beer and brewing because I was having liver issues. I was drinking a lot of wine, eating a lot of cheese when I first got married, and put on a lot of weight, and ended up getting a fatty liver. And I said, I got to stop drinking all this wine. So what can I drink that I can't open a bottle of wine and drink a glass of it and then have it go bad over the next couple of days? So I started getting back into craft beer. Buy a 6-pack, open a beer a night. Everything is still fresh in the 6-pack.
Sure.
And one day walking through Hoboken, I stumbled across Cask and Kettle.
Mhm.
And
yeah.
I was like, I used to do this a long time ago. So Joe hooked me up, and I've been brewing ever since. So that was like 2011, August 2011.
Wow.
That's probably the first time I've ever heard anybody put beer down as a diet staple.
So the concept, the idea was, drinking a lot of wine. I used to be a wine salesman. I was really into wine for a while, and I didn't want to open a bottle and have it oxidized. So I said, if I can have one good drink every night, fresh from the bottle, I can get that from craft beer. So that was kind of the idea of it. And it had been a while since I had gone out looking for craft beer. So now you're talking 2011. It had exploded at that point. There was so much more available.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, so much great stuff.
Night and day from the 90s till 2011.
Yeah.
In 9 days, we were kind of craft beer was, like Chris saying, with Newcastle, it's imports. Imports were a big thing. That was kind of the
that was the craft beer, right? That was
exactly.
Yeah. Like our first 2 craft beers are the same, right? Sam Boston Lager and Harpoon IPA.
Yep.
Right. But beyond that,
it's funny you say that. Chris and I were talking today, and I think Harpoon was like the second entry at the craft beer. That, remember Catamount?
Oh yeah,
sure. Love Catamount.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
fantastic. But as you say that, like my third craft beer, like in my mind that I call my third craft beer, was Samuel Smith's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I remember back in the day, if you wanted to test someone's bravery, and now I love it. You'd be like, oh, you want to try something weird, and you go get Zingu because Zingu was available.
Zingu was available. Yep.
And we all called it what were we calling? We're calling it Amazonian mud water.
Nice.
Not knowing that this is just a Schwartz beer. And now it's one of my favorite styles, Schwartz beers.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
hell yeah. All right, Chris, when did you start brewing?
Probably same early mid 90s. It's the classic tale of someone gave me a Mr. Beer kit.
There it is again.
Everybody has that story. You get the Mr. Beer kit.
We got to go back through and count how many Mr. Beers have been mentioned on this show, John.
Oh,
there's so many.
It's got to be a ton. It's got to be a ton. And just brewed my first beer. I think the Mr. Beer kit lasted maybe one brew, and then of course I got the bug, and then I started buying stuff. Just got out of college, started buying more. I need a bigger pot. Oh, I need this. And then it just exploded. And everybody there's more and more stuff in your garage, and Heck, even at the end of my last job, I owned an electrical contracting company in the city. I had a warehouse in the Bronx, and I actually had a whole setup inside the warehouse to brew. And then I just go to the office, do some estimating, come back out and brew. I still have like a Blickman top tier and everything sitting in the brewery. So if anybody wants to buy it, it's here for the brewery to buy. But yeah,
I need a wort chiller.
Here you go.
I do.
You need a wort chiller?
I've got everything else but the wort chiller.
Where is everything else?
In a box.
In boxes and storage.
I have a plate chiller that is sitting there. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I like the immersion chillers.
I have an immersion as well.
And I think I've got a 7 gallon.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
About that.
So what was the first beer you brewed on the Mr. Beer Kit?
Honestly, it probably was a pale ale of some sort.
A pale ale. Jeff, you said yours was a red ale?
Half of ice.
No, actually, I don't think what it was. It may have been an American Pale Ale is probably one of my favorite styles, and that's probably was the first one.
So both
the pale ale probably had 4 hop additions throughout the whole entire brew.
There you go.
Yeah, it was either that or maybe. You know what? I think no. Correct. I'm wrong. It was an English brown ale.
The English brown. There you go. Mine was my first was an oatmeal brown ale. I did.
Mine was a chocolate stout.
There you go.
The stouts are easy.
So we got dark. I took the hard road. Got darker. Yeah, exactly.
That's why mine sucked.
Let me see. What can I do the most complicated first?
What can just make it hard?
I'm gonna do a double decoction. Munich Bohemian Pilsner.
There you go.
That's for my first. John, I'm gonna have my second now.
You can have your second. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real departure. I don't know. I should probably clear my palate beforehand. But my second one's gonna be Red Room by Double Tap.
Didn't you just drink that?
There's 2 beers in one can.
Right.
There you go.
So probably a little bit more than 2 beers in one can.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
well, it depends on the glass you're pouring it in. What are you pouring it in?
Shaker pint.
Yeah, in a pint.
Yeah, it's 32. Well, I guess this pint's not a full 16.
We fill it right. To the top.
Well, shaker pints. Just so you know, are 14 ounces.
Yeah, so it's not.
So
you need the full imperial pint.
You need an imperial pint to get
like the big.
You get only 2 of them out.
Like the big Guinness glasses.
Well, yep. Well, some of the bigger Guinness glasses are actually 19 ounces.
Oh yeah, I love those. Don't do collar bombs with those.
No, we don't want to do that. So
I'm pretty sure the shaker pints we bought for anniversary glasses were a 16 ounce.
They actually were 16 ounces.
I remember.
You can get them if you but
there is the option. Yeah,
there's the option. Most shaker pints, like if you go most bars that have shaker pints that they get from their liquor reps, they're 14-ounce shakers.
Hey John, what size are your shaker pints?
These are 16 ounce.
Yours are?
Mm-hmm.
Coastals? Mm-hmm. Okay, because they're the same exact size.
There you go.
There you go. Well, there you go.
Nice.
So
yeah, just so if anyone's listening, we're not shorting them beer when they come.
You're not big. You're not bigger than we are.
At least the double tap and the coastal glasses are 16-ounce shaker pints. That we can tell you.
And if you go to Double Tap, the 1-year anniversary pints, $3 on sale right now.
There you go. Yeah, you got them.
Right behind. You could probably, if you squint hard enough, see them back there behind Chris.
Right about over here somewhere.
Yeah, they're right about there.
There you go. Cool. All right. So when did you 2 hook up?
Well, I was looking to open a brewery on my own, probably back in like 2016, 15, and I was looking where I live in Madison, and I was looking to open there, and I was having the worst time trying to find something, and a mutual friend introduced me to one of my partners, John Coyle, and John and my other partner Todd were looking to start a brewery, and they're looking for another partner, so I kind of joined forces with them, and then we brought Jeff in, and then we started looking all over the place. We looked at a lot of banks. A lot of banks are empty around this area.
Yeah.
And a couple warehouses and stuff. And we kind of stumbled upon the old Whippany post office,
which has got an interesting history.
does have an interesting history. It does for sure. But yeah, and
Mr. McFeely did not work at that post office, correct?
He did not.
He did not.
Not as far as we know.
No.
As far as you know.
No, I used to work before they opened. I worked about half a mile up the road, up Whippany Road. We're not going to say the company, but I was a distribution supervisor up there, and God, I wish that I was still working there. You guys probably don't. Well, no, you make a lot of money because I'd be there because I passed that post office every day on my way home, every single day. So and I lived alone, so
there you go.
Guess where I'd be stopping after.
Guess where you'd be stopping, right?
Yeah.
We got a couple comments here already. We got Dave Campanelle wants to say, paying homage to the postal workers. Who is the norm of Double Tap?
Oh, you have a guy who's in there all the time?
Oh boy.
Can we name him? I don't think we should. We definitely have one, if not two.
Would he get in trouble with his wife?
We're both thinking the two people for sure.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
It's not this guy, right? Gene saying he said
It
cheers.
is not
Jeff.
Gene.
No, it's not Gene.
We know Gene. Yes.
We know he's there a lot. We hear it every time he's there, and we always tell him, "Thanks for the invite."
Thanks for the invite, Gene. There you go.
Yep.
So, and Catherine Reyes, Kat from Worldwide Beer Fest, asks, "Is the post office haunted?" She loves a good story.
Well, I'm sitting here by myself. It's dark outside. So far, I haven't seen anything.
Kat was just on the show a couple weeks ago.
Something over your right shoulder.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
What is
that's
that?
probably just a mouse.
Our glycol system might be haunted, but other than that,
There you go.
maybe
It
that's
makes all kinds of weird noises, right? There you go.
There's a figure over Chris Wright's shoulder. I believe that's Newman.
Yes.
Newman, there you
Yes,
go.
that's Newman.
Yes.
Just under Newman is Cliff.
There you
That's
go.
right.
It's Cliffy.
Kat was actually on the show a couple weeks ago. She's the Worldwide Beer Fest out of she's out of Washington, but Worldwide Beer Fest is an online thing that's coming up soon. So we'll fill you guys in about it if you haven't seen it already. So it's pretty cool. It's a great concept, and she's great about it too. So all right. So when was this that you actually found the post office? What year? What month?
We found the post office probably the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. We got the keys to the place in 2018, and then the fun started.
And then the fun.
We didn't open our doors till 2022.
So 4 years
ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of delays with our local town, and then of course there was a slight delay because of something. I don't know if you heard of it, COVID.
What?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this COVID you speak of?
It was a little cold. People get. But we had taken possession of the place and we ordered our equipment, and we thought everything was going to move along a little faster than it did, and of course it didn't. And then the world got shut down, and in April of 2020, our manufacturer said, by the way, we can't hold on to your equipment anymore. You have to take possession of it. Well, all the warehousing is closed down. The riggers aren't working, whatever. They even delayed it enough because they delayed it more because they actually took it to a trade show in Texas, and it was on a truck, and they're like, we just had to send the truck up to you because there's nowhere to put it. So they sent the truck up with all of our equipment on it. We had to offload, not the fermenters, but this is the brew house, and it's a 10-barrel brew house, 20 barrel HLT.
Nice.
And we had to unload it ourselves. With a pallet jack.
Did your own rigging?
Yes, with a pallet jack onto our loading dock.
At least you had a loading dock.
At least you had a loading dock. You had the truck. I guess.
It wasn't even with the truck, so we had to make our own makeshift ramps.
Oh, geez.
There's nothing scarier than a 20-barrel hot liquor tank standing upright, and you're trying to take it off the back of a truck with a makeshift double plywood and 4x4 ramp, hoping it's not going to tip on you. There was five of us.
Was the truck lower than the ramp, or is the ramp lower than
Higher.
the truck?
The truck was higher than the ramp. Higher than the ramp.
Oh,
higher
so
than the
this
dock.
way. So this way, if it did tip while you're pulling it off, it didn't fall into the truck. It fell on you.
No, it fell on me. Us, yes. So there were five of us doing it, and of course it's COVID, and we're all breathing on each other because there's just no choice. And eventually, we just unloaded everything, and our loading dock is 40 feet long by 20 feet wide, and we just built a plywood wall across the entire loading dock, and put like a wireless camera in there. And I went by every day to make sure no one took the wall down, and it sat there until we can start construction.
Well, the good thing about it is, right, the brewing equipment is rather large, so to come by in the car,
no, it was all the stainless steel piping and stuff that was sitting on the floor. I was more concerned about.
Controllers.
Yeah. But it sat there for a while until we actually could start construction.
Here's a comment from, I'm not sure who this guy is. I don't think I've met him. Matt Potensky. What's up, Jeff and Chris?
Hey, what's up, Matt?
No, that's not what he said. He said,
what's up, Chris and Jeff? There you go.
That's okay. I don't know. Matt.
And you know what?
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him.
Oh, that's right. You came in after he was there.
I did.
Right. Yeah, you did.
I did. Yep.
I haven't seen him in about 2 hours.
It would have been nice. He told me he was going to check out the new place in Morristown, the new distillery. I would have liked to go.
Yeah, he went over there. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, did invite anybody, by the way.
No.
Yes, all together. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, he did say this to me today. He did say, had he known it was parade day in Morristown, he would have went nowhere near that place.
Actually, you know what? I probably would not have gone with him knowing it was parade day. Because that is a that's a no touch.
Exactly.
Unless you're already there at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. All right. So you finally get up and running. What month in 2022 did you open? When's your
September
2022.
Labor Day. Labor Day is basically our
Labor Day weekend. There you go.
You wouldn't believe how many of my ex coworkers and employees texted me, "Hey, do you know a brewery just opened up down the road?"
There you go.
I'm like, now it happens.
By the way, Matt,
where? And they're like, in the post office. Like,
Matt, just a major miscalculation, he said.
I went to school at University of Vermont, and there was one kind of brewery, the Vermont Pub and Brewery. When I was up there,
Vermont Pub,
not one brewery opened until after I was gone, long gone out of there. Now you go up there, and it's just the greatest breweries ever.
Yeah,
one after the other.
You can't go 5 yards without tripping over one.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, taking a 3-day trip up next month to Vermont, going up to Burlington, and one of the days we're gonna pop over to Schilling, Jeff. So.
Oh, nice.
I love it there.
Yeah.
Bring some stuff back.
I guess you know what you can pick up, Jeff.
Exactly.
We had one of the top threes we had on the show once was top three's most beautiful places to have a beer. Having a beer on their balcony can't be beat.
Yeah,
that was one of yours. That definitely was.
That was one of mine. It may have been. Was it my number one? I think it was my number one, John.
I don't even remember. I could find out if you.
Nah, it's not about me.
I could go back in the records and find out what it was.
I could go back in the records too.
Wait.
I built the records.
Right.
I built the records. You just
but that's fair enough. There you go. So you opened the Labor Day weekend 2022. What was the first beer you guys brewed on your 10-barrel brew house?
I'll let you take it, Jeff. Go ahead.
That would be our Pessimist Porter. It's an English style porter. I was looking for something, we wanted something that was, sort of crafty, somewhat approachable, dark beer. I think it came out about 5%. And it was a good way to, get used to the system.
Mm-hmm.
A beer like that has a fair amount of, room for error, for lack of a better, better thing. And it came out great. People love it. We've made it a few times since.
Why pessimist? Just the alliteration.
Our brewery is a post office, and the name of our brewery, Double Tap, is based off a quote from Benjamin Franklin, who said that New Jersey was like a beer keg tapped at both ends by New York City and Philadelphia, and things flowed through the state of New Jersey to both points very easily. So, Ben Franklin was a well-known pessimist. That was always, and he was also the first postmaster general, which kind of ties in with the post office.
That's really cool.
You guys, I mean, yeah, the beer names, that's deep.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
There's only one brewery. There's only one brewery name that I know that's deeper than that.
What's that?
That's Fourth Hammer. That is
Fourth Hammer?
Fifth Hammer.
Or Fifth Hammer?
Fifth Hammer. Fifth Hammer.
Third Hammer.
Fifth Hammer. The Fifth Hammer is what
Chris,
makes it.
how many breweries did you
How
open?
many hammers? But Fifth Hammer, yeah. You'll have to ask Chris who's made that. I can't do it justice, but it is that's a really
well. He does a lot of music related beer.
But it's also I think it's a quote from a Greek philosopher, wasn't it?
Fifth Hammer.
Yeah.
The actual. I mean,
It's nothing to do with the saxophone. I know Chris plays the saxophone.
It's the Fifth Hammer.
And
these are
and
hammers.
aren't the hammers on the? Yeah.
When you push the keys down on a saxophone, it's a hammer. That's your hammering.
Yeah, but that's not why it's quite.
It could be a double entendre, but
no, it's I forget what it's from, but it's from some legend, some story, something. I can't remember where it's from. You'd have to ask Chris, or you can go back and watch that show because he does explain it. He has been on the show.
He did explain it on the show. Yeah, he did.
So.
Hold on, just taking my obligatory.
He's taking. This is a new beer for him, so he's got to take the picture.
Yep. So my second beer, I'll throw that up really quick. Is
or you can just go on their website. It's on their website.
That's true. Yeah. It is on the website. Old Man it's an ESB from Treehouse.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I've heard of that place.
You have heard of that place.
She had that beer. One of our partners, Todd Townsend, brought back a case of mixed stuff from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one he gave me because he knows I love that style.
Oh yeah, I love a good ESB, and I put it in. There you go.
I had a good friend bring me back a whole lot of beer from there.
So I'm in Rhode Island in January, and I'm leaving Providence, and I tell Dave, "Yeah, I'm leaving Providence now. I'm swinging by Treehouse." About an hour later, he texts me 6 pictures, screenshots of the $250 worth of beer he ordered from Treehouse. Can you pick this up for me?
I asked him first, how much are you willing to hump back for me? He goes, have at it.
Have at it.
Okay.
Matt asked for 2 bottles. He got 3 cases.
two cases.
2.5. Well, and the bottles and all.
The bottles. It was a story from Pythagoras. So it was a Greek philosopher.
There you go.
Anyway.
It's got to be a double entendre. Wow, that's fucking
well, no, because it's about harmony.
Right.
It is about. But
harmony. I just mean with the hammering on the sax keys or whatever. So we'll have to talk to him about that. I got to get over there soon anyway.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while.
This is
I actually grew
really
up right
good.
there.
You grew up in
LIC?
Yeah, I grew up in Long Island City. Yeah, my brother still lives there, and again, not one brewery when I lived there. And of course, as soon as I moved away, you had every other brewery open up in the world there.
Well, opening day for the Mets is coming up soon.
Yes, sir.
And a couple weeks after that is the retirement of
another year of disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. Is the retirement of Doc Gooden's number on the 14th.
Oh, we decided we're going or not?
I'm going. So if you're going, let me know. So we'll go. What is that?
It sounds like
was that Chris Kuzme playing a song?
It's hitting a Fifth Hammer.
That sounded like the Windows theme. It sounds like someone started a computer.
I moved my computer. Maybe they picked up the beast logging the computer.
There you go. Yeah,
no, it's just from us.
It was that way. Yeah, he heard it in his.
It's.
Was it this?
It was his. Yeah.
No.
Who's that?
No, I think Carrie must be watching TV.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, but my point is, I got to get over and see him too because they did a smoked. Was it smoked Hellas with maple or smoked something with maple? Smoked dark ale with maple.
Maybe it was a smoked maple with Hellas.
That might have been it. That could have been it. Whatever. It's not available on their website anymore. It's not on tap. The only time I saw it was when John had one on Honest. We reviewed it on Honest Craft Beer Reviews. I actually went on halftime.
How does Derek Dumsky get more beer?
Because he got it from halftime. He told me he got it from halftime, right? And so I went on halftime really quick, and they're out of it. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So I texted Chris. I'm like, do you have any cans of it sitting around? I need a couple.
Because John's favorite adjunct is maple.
Yeah, maple.
Yes.
Love smoked beers. Love dark beers. Love maple. That beer I need.
You and I are on the same page.
It's a knee.
So anyway, all right. So you open in September of 2022. You brewed the porter. What else did you have opening weekend?
Well, we planned on opening with 4 beers. We got our license to brew, and so we brewed, and we're waiting for our actual license, to serve. And it just kept taking. It was taking a little while, so we had 4 beers ready to go, and but tanks are empty now, so let's keep brewing.
Keep brewing. What the hell?
We ended up opening with 8.
There you go.
Our second,
not a bad problem to have. So.
Yeah, I think I want to say one of our second beers was probably My Father's Hatchet. It's a pale ale.
I've had that.
We kind of do it in the sense that it's my partner Todd's idea. He has a coworker that loves to say, "This is my father's hatchet. I've changed the head twice. I've changed the handle 3 times, but it's still my father's hatchet." And so the idea of father's hatchet is we change something in the beer every time. Just one thing, just to make it a little different every time.
Here we go deep again. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So it's fun. One time, we started out with I think El Dorado, was it, Jeff? And then
El Dorado was the first one.
The present one right now is Cascade. We did Cascade, and I think somewhere in between we changed something in the grain bill as well. But it's always just a slight little change so people can kind of see what the variation. People love it, and they get to see what it tastes like when you make that one tiny little veer to the left or right.
Yeah, I think the first one was all Turo and El Dorado. Then we switched to
You changed the grain bill up too, or just the hop?
Well, the one time, that was
It makes sense if you're changing the handle and the head.
Then we did I think a all pale ale malt and Idaho 7, and then people seem to really like the pale ale malt. It gave it a little more of a fuller body, and the latest iteration is all pale malt and Cascade.
There you go.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and all it's all USO 5, whatever Chico yeast.
It's interesting because
all pale row malt, Cascade, and Chico yeast.
Yep.
I gotta have this. I gotta step up.
Yeah, that sounds great. And what's interesting is there was a time that you could not escape Cascade, and now you don't see it all that often.
No.
So yeah,
No.
that's interesting.
There's
That's
too many.
cool.
There's too many designer hops out there to actually worry about Cascade now, right?
But I love how deep you guys have gotten with just the brewery name or the beer names as well. It's usually why, and John knows I love to ask the question. I was going to ask you guys where did the name come from, because it didn't seem like a postal reference, but it's a postal reference. Just a really third level down postal reference, and I love that.
Or third level up, as it were.
Or up, as maybe.
Yes.
And had I done my research and homework, I probably would have worn my Bukowski T-shirt, John.
Yeah.
Bukowski started as one of his early jobs was as a postman.
As a postman, yeah, you could have done that. So
Wasn't thinking.
So then after that, I think we brewed our Italian Pilsner, which is the Boot.
Oh, the Boot's such a good beer.
Boot's a good beer.
I love that beer.
Which has been on the menus from day one. And then what was the last one?
I think Monsoon Pilot.
Monsoon Pilot, yeah.
Monsoon Pilot our first hazy.
Nice. And what's in that? What was in that?
Good question.
That was what, Strata, Galaxy,
yes.
and Mosaic. I think it's evolved since then.
Oh yeah, those are 3 horrible hops for hazies.
Horrible.
You never see those in hazies.
Not at all.
No, we were super original.
No one's ever thought of that combination. Next, there's a secret. We might do a Citra Mosaic one exclusive.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And we're gonna
now you're pushing the boundaries.
It's proprietary hot blend.
and we're gonna go throw some oats in there too, just to mix it up.
Oh, now forget about it.
But Jeff, won't that make it hazy?
We'll biofine it.
Okay.
Clarify.
Put some oats in and then clarify it.
We'll biofine it.
Wow, that's almost
and filter it and get it back to me.
This is almost as good as the
the centrifuge.
as the non-alcoholic hard seltzers that we're seeing now, right?
Yeah.
A filtered New England IPA, filtered hazy,
There you go.
like that.
A filtered
We do
haze.
make some hard seltzers too. It wasn't an easy decision. It kind of hurt a little bit when we put them on tap, but
But do you have
people like 'em.
Do you have a 0.0 seltzer?
0.0. You got to
No,
put
but we have a water cooler with
Yeah. Well, you can put a 0.0 seltzer and call it double secret probation.
There you go. And if you take that water, you put a straw in it, you can add bubbles.
There you go. Whatchamacallit? Matt just said, "Don't reinvent the wheel, just make a great wheel." There you
go. Matt,
there's that guy.
Speaking of being deep.
Exactly.
Make it more round.
Make it more. Yeah, just don't reinvent the wheel. Just make it more round. There you go. I like that. There you go. All right. So
I want some pie now.
I could go for some pie.
Pie day coming up.
It's coming up.
Yeah. He goes, seltzer, name it 00 license to kill.
There you go.
Or how about license to thrill? How's that? License to spill? I know kill's a little harsh.
You don't.
A great name for something you're drinking.
Exactly.
No, you don't want to spill.
Well, I mean, license to chill makes sense. If it's
There you go. I like
License
it.
to chill.
Jeff's
Done.
got it.
There you go. License to chill. There you go. I like that. That's awesome.
License to
Actually, it's actually really good.
little throwback to Beastie Boys, little license to ill.
License to
There
ill.
you go.
There you go.
And
License to
it's
ill.
a shame that you didn't open a dentist's office because it could be licensed to drill.
No. Yes, it's a Bond reference. Yes, we know.
Yeah,
Oh,
When you carry a double
now I
O
get it.
number, when you carry a double
Thanks,
O
Matt.
number,
it's bad when you have to clarify the joke.
yes, it's really bad. Or think you have to clarify the joke when everyone got it the first time.
Anyway,
It's funny. I just got done yesterday finishing the run through all the Bond movies, so it's kind of funny he brought that up.
Wow.
All right. So what are all right? So those were what you opened with. Over the years, what are some of the standout beers you've done that you either bring them back all the time, or you have them, or seasonally, or what have you? But definitely standouts that you've done. I know a couple that you've done that are standouts for me, but I want to hear from you.
I said John and I could probably answer this question for you.
Exactly.
Right. Sure. Yeah, go for it. What do you guys think? Well, I mean, we have a few IPAs that we've been very happy with. We've Bent Brim. It's kind of just my my rage against the flat bill cap.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wait till you see the can art. Yeah. Great.
It needs this.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
You need it.
Gomer pile over there.
I'd like. You got it. You got screenshot.
It's still bent. It's still bent. It's just the wrong way. It's a rally cap now.
Yeah.
There you go. I took a screenshot.
I took a screenshot.
Yeah. The kids are going to be so happy, Jeff.
Love it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff. I'll let you throw in it. You know what, Jeff? You talk about a beer. I'm going to go get a beer.
Okay.
Yes, we're in our seconds, and Dave's about to have his third.
One of my favorites, Tightrope.
So we it's almost like we have a rotating list of regular beers. I mean, we have a few hazies that people like. The Buchanan Pilsner is always on tap. One beer that went over really well, which was kind of surprising, was we got a beer engine. So
nice.
We wanted to start doing, some classic British styles, and I brewed just a special bitter, 4.5%, 4%, and hooked it up to the beer engine, and people went nuts for it. You're really surprised that you get this. You hear about warm, flat British beers, but we kept it around 50 degrees for serving. And I don't think people realize how drinkable that style is, or British beers are in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because there'd be nights where we were just running that hand pump all night. And people were like, this is so smooth to go down. It's so good. It's got so much flavor. It's low in alcohol. So our beer engine's doing really well for us, which is great because you
that's
can be
awesome to
creative
hear.
with it.
Um,
Yeah.
I love cask beer. I love a
So
good.
you
cask
guys must have your staff must have really good forearms by now. Getting that pull on.
Yeah, well-
there you go, right there.
Yeah, so now we have a British mild on, and people are loving that too. So it's a lot of fun.
Love a British mild.
Yeah.
So I did pour my third beer, John.
You did.
Yep.
And what would that be?
This is another double tap. So I grabbed
You-
two crowlers with us.
I was going to say you have another double tap.
Yeah, well, I grabbed two crowlers right there. And this one, because I'm going to sleep well tonight. I like this.
The name of the beer is "I'm going to sleep well tonight."
Well, you can probably name it that.
Hold on. That's a good name.
That's a good name.
That's the name. All right, you got to do a high ABV barrel aged stout collab, and that's the name of it.
There it is.
We're going to sleep well tonight.
I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Let's do it.
Dark Humor, the Baltic Porter. This is a 7.7% lager.
Mhm.
And this is my first time tasting it because the Irish Red I'd had at the brewery.
Mhm.
Karen and I both ordered the same beer for a change. We normally don't do that.
You never do that.
We never do that, but we looked
Never
up and
do
like,
that.
I want the Irish Red. Oh, I want the Irish Red. Look at two friggin' Irish Reds. Let's do it. Oh, damn. Damn, that's good.
Dave, do you have a radio on over there?
Nah, it's
I love it.
it's back there. Oh, damn, this is good.
Mhm.
This is really, really good.
Thank you very much.
That's a straight up
Yeah.
Baltic Porter. That's
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can say about it is it's a fucking Baltic Porter. You don't get any more of a Baltic Porter sense than that.
And
You got that slight chocolate. You do have a little. You get that the lager yeast a little bit in the back.
Sure.
And just the slightest tinge of the heat, but just the slightest. So you know you're drinking a Baltic Porter. That's nice.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna have to take my obligatory
Yeah,
picture for the check-in.
Yeah, you do that.
You're very happy with that beer.
Why dark humor? What is
Dark basically it was just, we're reading about the Baltics, this, that, and the other thing. Just came across this article where Estonians say that Latvians have a very dark sense of humor. And just went with dark humor.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
that
My
works?
friend's
Sometimes names come easy.
Latvian, and he does have a dark sense of humor. So
Matt had the Baltic Porter on Saturday. He said it was tasty.
It's quite tasty. I like this a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the beers that sometimes the names come easy, and sometimes it's just, luckily that beer was lagering for a while, so we had time to figure out what we were going to call it. And we were
Right,
both
you got a while though. Yeah.
yeah,
How's your? Is it done yet? Let me put the pigtail on and see what's going on. And yeah.
we were just doing research and it's tough coming up with a name that sort of makes sense, but then you try not to get too deep.
Right.
Where people have to question you what it means. But yeah, so and it fits the beer. So
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it does. The only thing is, I get the feeling after finishing this, my ability to have humor is going to drop even lower than it typically is.
I think it's tomorrow.
It's so low already though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's not much more to fall.
Oh, I can straight up limbo it, John.
Speaking of challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
There you go.
There you go.
Says the guy who supplies the dad jokes on the show.
Every time. 100%. Yeah. Well, at least that's a notch above solo. So anyway, speaking of solos,
you're gonna sing solo. No one can hear you.
No, that was just a bad dad joke. That's all it was. All right,
So
back to it.
speaking of names and stuff, I do want to mention one that I was
You proud of the beer
but
or proud of the name?
well, the beer did come out great. People drank the crap out of it. We made a wheat beer and we flavored it with a Pog.
Right.
The Pog juice.
Pog, isn't that? Are those things from the?
Pineapple, orange, and guava. Was that
No,
was
it's
that
the
one?
things that you put on your crop.
What is yeah, Pogs.
Pog.
And so my name for it was the Wheatorious POG.
There we go.
I like that. I was happy with that one.
I like that. That's good.
And also
It's
don't
very
forget
punny.
we had another one that we called that was a strawberry flavored wheat beer, and we called it Darryl Strawberry. And,
Yes, I remember. I remember you did that. I remember that one. I remember that one.
and every
Or
time
down.
every time someone would order it, they'd say, "Can I have the Dow strawberry?" And I'd go, "Strawberry," with like this
He would
like
correct them
total.
every time.
Yeah.
And they were just most people. Sometimes I was afraid they were going to punch me, and sometimes people were just like, "Oh, all right, sorry, I get it now."
Not to bring the room
Yeah.
down, but poor Daryl just had a heart attack.
He did.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, I
He's
didn't
doing.
hear
He's
that.
doing okay.
He did. He's doing okay. He's doing
Okay,
okay.
good to hear,
There's
good to hear, good to hear.
photos.
Yep.
He's in a
Smiling in the
hospital
bed.
recovering in
Yep.
St. Louis. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good. His number's getting retired in June.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Mhm.
Got to get
Two
to one of
numbers
those
this year.
games. Got to get to one of those games.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
we'll definitely have to do that. What the hell's going on here?
I don't know. Matt's
What
doing
the-
a lot of commenting. If that's what you're.
No, I hold on.
We're
There
experiencing
we go.
technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Please stand by.
My music app just opened on my computer by itself. I didn't even
That's why I
touch
hear detachable penis.
Oh my god! I love that song. That song is
That's
hilarious. It's great. King Missile.
That's it.
King missile.
That's it.
That's right.
King Missile.
Yep.
Now we got people going, what the hell is detachable?
And then look
Well,
at
the first occurrence of a detachable penis in pop culture was Sam Kinison.
Really?
Really?
Well, when he
I
did
don't
his,
know.
when he did was bit like when he says, it's a detachable penis. It's like your wife, you're going out. I'm going out with the
Oh.
boys. You won't be needing this
This
anymore.
anywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I saw him. He was it's terrible. I was at a concert in Giant Stadium. It was probably like the late '80s, and
mhm.
it was Bon Jovi, Billy Squire,
Oh wow.
and
Oh, there's a
I
lot of
don't know who
hairspray going on.
yeah, oh
here.
yeah, I'm trying to remember who the third band was, but Sam Kinison was the MC.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That is
A
awesome.
Dude, just
lot
for
of
him
hair.
alone was the best. It was great.
That's awesome. That's great.
A
saw-
lot of Aquanet in that crowd.
Quick, yeah, really.
Yeah.
Quick, yeah, especially the crowd too. Not even just on the stage.
That show may have been responsible for the hole in the ozone by itself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right around Jersey.
Most of the girls I dated in the late '80s were responsible for the hole in the ozone later, right over New
Yeah,
Jersey.
exactly.
Too many jokes there. I'm gonna
Too
look
many
forward.
jokes there. You're
Too
like,
many
okay.
jokes.
Anyway, but seriously though, really quick, I went to see. You said that I have to tell you this really quick. Went to see Ringo Starr probably 10-something years ago.
With the All-Star Band?
The All-Star Band, 10 or 12 years ago.
Second best drummer in the Beatles.
Absolutely. And second best drummer in the Beatles.
According to Paul McCartney.
Actually, possibly the third, because there was Pete Best as well.
That's true. Yeah.
That's another one.
Yet I digress.
Yet I digress. There's another story in there, but I got to move away from that.
Yeah,
But anyway, so
Shut
we're
up,
there.
Chris.
It's 10, 12 years ago. We see him at the Beacon, right? And the last song he does in every show he does is "Goodbye with a Little Help from My Friends."
Yes.
And he brings like 9,000 people
Yeah.
out on the stage to sing with him, right? So everybody's like, there's 30 people around every mic, right? Except for the mic all the way over to the one side of the stage. And it's one guy, and he's got scraggly gray hair. He's got a ripped gray t-shirt. He's got ratty, ripped black jeans on. And we're looking at what the hell's it? But he's by himself. He's the only one on any mic. Even the drummer had somebody standing next to him singing in his mic, right? He's by himself.
He probably
We're
didn't shower.
It's got to be a roadie, right? It's got to be a roadie. We dismissed it, right? So after the show, downstairs is the Beacon, right? So we get downstairs and we have a drink before we leave. And we're walking out. We're going to go to another bar over in Amsterdam. So we walk around the corner, go out the front door and walk around the corner of the Beacon. And here's this guy smoking a cigarette, leaning up against the stage door at the Beacon. As I'm walking by, he looks at me and says, "How's it going?" I'm like, "It's going good." He says, "Good show tonight." I says, "Great show tonight." "All right, you take care. All right, you too. Take care." Boom. And I walk by. He addressed me, right? Whatever. Figure, roadie, right? Next day, one of the people we were with looked it up. It was Billy Squire.
Couldn't pick
Didn't
him out
even,
of
didn't
crowd.
even
No
look
way.
like him.
Yeah.
Did not even look like Billy Squire.
Yep.
So anyway, but yeah, and the Ringo Starr's a great drummer. Don't get me wrong. I say it in jest or whatever, but the best drummer or whatever.
Me too.
Yeah. He was actually a better drummer than he was ever given credit for.
Who's that?
Ringo.
Oh, Ringo. Yeah. Well, I was talking about the drummer that played on the first Beatles single, which was "Love Me Do." It wasn't Ringo Starr.
No.
It was Andy White. Andy White, session musician over in the UK back in the 60s. They brought him in. George Martin brought him in because he didn't like Ringo Starr in the beginning. So he brought him in to play on Love Me Do. Ringo played tambourine. But just so happens, fast forward 40 some odd years later, Andy White was my neighbor in Caldwell.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
And jokes on everybody, Ringo's going to outlive all of them
Oh yeah.
yeah, probably.
easily.
So, anyway, all right, back to beer. Finish up with your some of your standout beers. I want to hear a couple more. I want to see if you have some of my standouts as your standouts.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, all of your beers are fantastic. We're not
Yes.
saying that
Oh,
you don't
right.
make great beer, right? But your personal favorites that you brewed.
Well, me being the lager guy, I'm always gonna default to the lagers that we make.
Mhm.
We
John,
currently have.
John, if you don't put up the comment from Matt, he's going to post it again.
Oh, geez.
I'm just gonna text this.
Oh, he did. There you go.
Oh,
Oak
okay.
Grove.
Oh,
Yes.
there you go.
So that was a side project. So we make an incredible Schwartz beer. I've brewed this
You
beer for
do.
years.
Yes,
You do.
you
Not
do.
It's not his recipe, but it is his recipe.
And I tell you, when I'm working behind the bar, I push that beer nonstop because nobody buys it. I mean, it's terrible that no one knows what it is.
John and
When
I
it's,
do.
on, look, when
Um,
it's on tap, just call me, Dave, and Matt, and we'll come up and drink the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
He says nobody
we'll-
buys it, but
We'll
so
kill the
many
keg.
It's
people
on
love that
tap
beer.
now. So
Matt, when
we,
we're done
we
tomorrow,
had-
we're going up to Whippany.
So we had it on tap,
Happy hour.
and
There you go.
we were getting down to the last couple of kegs of it, and I said, it's kind of a dark beer. What if we throw a little we throw it into like a little fermenter and just add some oak spirals to it. Now we all know what oak spirals are when we were homebrewing. So I let it sit on the oak spirals for a couple of weeks, and then put it back in the keg, and it was just this wonderful combination of like that. That beer gives you kind of like a cocoa powder and kind of flavor to it, and a tiny bit of roast, and then just some of the light flavor of the oak spirals. People associate oak with bourbon, but it was just
Yeah, it's not. But it's not
oak
charred.
spirals.
It's just
So yeah,
medium.
it's not
It's
you're
just
not
medium-
even you're not even
medium
soaking the
oak.
oak spirals. You're just putting the oak spirals in. No soaking of anything. It's just no other
No.
No,
flavors.
no,
Just
no.
the oak. That's all
You're
you-
pulling a little vanilla
yeah.
out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that beer sold amazing, and it was delicious. So the next time we brewed it, the Schwartz beer again this year, I put some aside. We have a 1 barrel fermenter that we use for our pilot system. I threw some in that, and then added oak spirals to it, and we had a few kegs of it, and it's a really cool beer.
Yeah.
By the way, getting oak spirals out of the bottom of a 1 barrel fermenter is not as easy as you think.
Yeah,
We didn't know bag
yeah.
them or
Lesson
anything.
learned.
You didn't bag him. You just threw him in.
Nope. Just dropped it.
so they don't make
Thank God I have
needle-
long arms and a pair of tongs.
I was saying they don't make those pliers this long.
Gotta love it.
So
That's
yeah,
good.
that's a fun beer. We also have a beer on tap, another lager. That's a root beer, a German root beer from Nuremberg, which is root beer in German means red beer. It's sort
Red
of
beer,
a
it's a
cross
red beer,
between
yeah.
it's sort of a cross between a Marzen and the Vienna lager. So it's got a big malty up front, and then it kind of dries out and slightly bitter at the end. And it's a gorgeous red color. And that beer has been selling great for us. People
I gotta
love
get
their
there
amber
next-
lagers,
next
and this
time-
one's a
next
little
time you
different.
have that on, I got to get there.
It's on.
Yes, sir,
you know
now.
what? I'm gonna have to take a ride up. You have the Schwartz beer on. You have a root beer on.
Yep.
You got the yeah. I'm coming up. I got to figure out when I'm coming up.
Yeah.
So,
And then not to say
maybe
just-
Friday.
And John, do not invite Gene.
No, I'm not gonna. I'll just
Don't
text
invite
him when I'm there. I'm here.
Let me know.
And then
Of course.
last year, I think it was Chris who said, "Why don't you try making a hazy? You make all these lagers." I'm like, all right, I'll throw one together. So I made typical of like a lager guy. The hazy came out kind of bright and kind of clean. But people loved it. It's just got Equinaut and Motueka, and I forget what the third hop was. 7%, bright, clean, hazy, hoppy. That beer is a good seller. That's coming back in the summer. It's a
What's
good
that one name,
summer
Jeff?
IPA.
What's the name?
Same.
Oh, Kite and Key.
Kite and Key.
Back to Ben.
Back to
Yeah,
Ben.
that's a little on the nose. That one was a little on the nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the rope beer is called
It's electrifying.
I was a electrical contract before I did this.
There you go. Exactly. Again, on the nose. There you go.
But actually, I'm drinking. So I'm drinking a. There it is. Hello.
There it is.
So this is our New York City Tumbleweed.
New York City Tumbleweed.
New York City Tumbleweeds.
I was, when I was at the brewery, I was going to ask what it was behind that name.
When everybody, Christmas is over and everybody throws their trees out, whether it's out the window or whatever, and the sanitation does not pick them up for 2-3 weeks, and you get that one good windstorm in the middle of the city.
In the canyons.
They're just dead. Needleless spruce fir trees just rolling across, and you're literally driving around them. I found a great video of like multiple situations of New York City tumbleweed that Annie, our social media person, put up on just to show what it looks like. But yeah, we just used to call it New York City tumbleweed. But it's West Coast style IPA that we did with spruce tips.
Oh,
and
West Coast IPA with spruce tips. I love that.
Yeah, and I was and we do, and it has Chinook and Columbus. And it's funny because you have a piney resiny, which doesn't come from the spruce tips. It comes from the hops. Spruce tips, I was even surprised that I had never actually brewed with spruce tips before. I opened the box and I expect to get this big rush of, pine resin. And no, it's lemon and citrus, and it's a great smell. And the flavor that it imparts in the beer was just great.
Now, behind you is your board, and I know that beer was on tap when we were there.
Yeah.
Does the board say it was brewed with spruce tips?
Yeah, it is. It does.
How did Carrie mess that?
It says the first thing it says is brewed with spruce tips.
Because she loves spruce tips. She completely missed that. I can't wait till the show's over and I can tell her you missed a spruce tip here.
I'm going up. I may. Yeah. You know what, Matt? Seriously, if you're still listening, we're going up when we're done tomorrow.
Let me know when you go. Let me know when you're gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm working from home tomorrow, and I can maybe work from.
I'm working here tomorrow, so I'm working the tap room. So
nice.
Yeah.
If you've got Wi-Fi, I can work from the brewery.
You can work from the brewery.
I got Wi-Fi. Let me tell you,
Matt and I can't work from the brewery tomorrow. we got too much other crap to do.
Yeah.
We can come up when we're done. What was I going to say? This is I just want to throw this up there. This is my third beer.
Well, I know Jeff, you're working on the second one, aren't you?
I just started. Yep. So
I saw a different can.
I don't know if you can see this. Weekend Cowboys.
Weekend Cowboys. Okay.
It's from Alternate Ending.
Oh, we love
this.
Those
Is
guys.
their just another one of their hazies. It's got Strata in it. Does it have Strata? Some of the labels print pretty small.
John may have some experience with alternate ending.
Alternate endings, yeah. They made a great black IPA back in the day.
I heard.
It was a collab from what I understand.
It was a collab with some brewery from
I don't know.
County.
It's a water name. I don't know.
Waterish.
Yeah, there's if you just read the top of John's head.
Right
there.
He goes, I'm tempted, but going to be a long day in the brewery. Yes, it's going to be a long day, Matt. But with the beer that they have, if we get done early, I wouldn't mind taking a ride up. So you let me. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
You're gonna have to twist his arm.
I might have to twist.
That's weird. I've never heard that before. I gotta twist his big Pollock's arm to go up somewhere and drink.
So, I'll throw mine up. My third beer I'm having is, speaking of dark lagers, as we just were, I'm having a dark Czech lager, the Tmave Pivo from Elder Pine in Gaithersburg, Maryland there. So
tote jelly right there. Damn.
So
So I poured my third beer.
So, cheers. What's yours?
It's Dark Humor.
You mean your fourth beer you've had?
It's my fourth beer. My fourth beer. Dark Humor. Yeah, I've beaten that joke to death, haven't I? Wasn't much of a joke to begin with.
There you go. Matt just put Rawaka, Mutera, and Motueka in Weekend Cowboys. That's it.
No, it's
Oh,
Week Edna.
Weekend Kaku boys.
Problem is, Matt's got these massive
Really big
sausage fingers.
Yeah.
Should we just get him a camera and add him to the show? I mean, he's
It's because we have 4 already.
There you go.
Oh, no, we can put on as many as we want. No, how many can we get on the show?
10. 10 is the
10,
most
10.
we can
Wow.
have on at any one
Jeez.
time. 10 is the most we can have on at any one time. Hold on.
Cock boys.
I'm just getting. I don't know if he's actually wants to, but
Oh,
yeah,
so
Matt, I just sent you the link. If you want, jump on.
So we're talking.
If you're dressed.
If he's,
He said I can't type. He said.
No, we know you can't type. But while we're waiting for that, guys, you have not a mug club or a bottle club per se, but you do have some sort of club there at the brewery.
Right. We do a beer lab.
Beer
So
lab. Explain.
Yeah,
this.
so we have a 1-barrel, pilot system and a 1-barrel fermenter. So, we don't do that many pilots, so we wanted to, do something with it. So we figured let's just make a beer just for the club, so people join, and every month we release a new beer. Usually about a barrel worth of beer, and they get their first pint or drink of it is on us, or part of their initiation fee. And
As well
yeah,
as
so
the
we've done 2 so far. Our first one was this was one that we had going for a while. It's a Belgian quad that we aged in a Bar Hill Tomcat gin barrel. If you don't know Tomcat Gin, it's up in Montpelier.
Yeah.
And they age their gin in unused, never used before, new bourbon barrels.
Mhm.
So it's just it's just charred oak. So it takes on a little, it takes on a little of the char. It takes on some of the color. The color of the gin actually comes out more of a, I guess, almost like a golden.
Right.
Has a really interesting flavor. So we aged in that, and then when we transfer in the fermenter and we put it on cherries.
Oh boy, how much is it to join this club?
It was $75
For the year.
Yes.
For the year.
And,
I may have to look into that because Gene keeps lording these beers over us.
He does. He does
Yeah,
all the time.
He does all the things. I'm drinking this. We're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
like to go.
Yeah,
You go to the brewery, like, I'd
Gene's
like
a
that
member.
one. Yeah,
Absolutely.
like,
Yep.
I'd like that beer like you can.
And then this last one we just did a oyster stout.
Nice.
So yeah, I shucked 25 oysters, and
Oh,
put them in.
shucks.
It's called
Oh,
shuck and awe.
shucks.
It's called shuck and awe.
Shuck it off.
And it's a great beer. Just a
Hey,
little bit of
a
little
Ryan-
brightness.
Remind me of this when we finish the show and we're talking
Mhm.
because I got
Okay.
That's a wonderful. What was that? A Gulf War reference, wasn't it?
Yes.
Shuck
Yeah.
and awe, yeah,
Old Schwarzkopf.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's,
I know. Hold on. Gene just said amazing oyster stout.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is lording it
Gene.
over us again. Yeah, fuck off, Gene.
No. Come on.
No.
That's
That was
out
the
of
brewery.
jealousy. That's only
That's out of
entirely
jealousy. That's out of jealousy.
entirely out of jealousy.
By the way, Matt said as far as joining the show, he said I'm at the gym, so he's not.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a
And,
new bar
trying
that's
to-
open. There's a new
Trying
bar
to trim
near
down
him.
those fingers.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's a new bar that just opened near him called the Gym. So
The gym, yeah, exactly. And he also said, as far as you're talking about the quad, he said quad was straight cherry cola in the best way. He said,
nice. So Matt's in the club.
"No, I think you just had it."
No. So what we do is
Matt,
the beers are
Somehow.
released to the club members.
Somehow,
Right.
The
in
beers
some
are
way.
released to the club members,
right?
and then when the new month comes out,
Mhm.
the previous month's beer, if it's still available, is offered to the public.
Offer the public.
So it's timing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if you get it, if there's any left, if you get it before it runs out, once it's
Right.
offered, you're good to go.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, Gene said this to Dave. It's a kissy emoji. There
Love you too.
There you go. Anyway,
Nothing but love.
there you go. All right. So, what events you guys got coming up
So
at the brewery and otherwise?
Before you get to what's coming up,
Mhm.
when we were there that weekend, so when
I wasn't. So, go ahead, Dave.
when I was there that weekend, this past weekend, when the beer laws changed,
Mhm.
if you remember, John, I talked about the one line in there that didn't specifically mention food trucks. It said third-party food vendors,
Food vendors. Yeah.
right? And at the time, I said, "This is so cool because now we can see even pop-in kitchens." Because I love the way it did. You had a pop-in kitchen this weekend.
We did.
Mhm.
We did. Esso Pasta, who great place out in Morristown. They did their Sicilian fried chicken. Yeah, they've been here a couple times doing it, but few times I did it, they've done it. When the rules weren't fully in effect, the bill wasn't fully
Prior
passed. But
to
Yeah.
they did it outside on our loading dock. But they set up a kitchen in our brewery, and they made their Sicilian fried chicken. He had some veal meatballs. I don't remember what else was on the menu.
And it was National Meatball Day that day.
Yeah, so it worked out great.
Was it really?
Yeah.
But no, it worked out. It was great. I mean, the place smelled awesome.
Oh my God. We had wished when every order of chicken went past us. It's like, God, I wish we hadn't eaten already.
Right.
Oh, because we would have ordered something that smelled
Yeah.
fantastic.
So
I'm
good.
shocked
So
you
good.
didn't just eat anyway.
Right.
I was already full. Okay, John, I went to a brewery and only had one beer.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's how full I was.
All right. Fair
Wow.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Because usually, Chris has been there when I've been there. Do I ever stop it? I never stopped at one. I had to stop. Well, we'd been in another brewery already. We'd been at Sterling Hotel. Had the burger there because I recommend the burger
Oh,
there.
that's great.
Oh God! And then then up there,
You went to Oak Flower first, and then you went to Sterling.
Yeah, Oak Flower first, then to Sterling, and stuffed ourselves at Sterling because they also had Reuben nachos.
Reuben nachos.
That doesn't suck.
It did not suck.
There's zero suck in that.
Yeah, no
So
sucking at all.
you're quoting potentially.
Quote Matt. Quote Matt.
Yes. And so when we got up there, I was full. I was like, I need to have something while I'm here. But then the chicken started going past. Like, God, I wish I hadn't eaten. It's not that good.
Exactly.
So you've got, and I know you've got this big St. Patrick's Day.
We do. St. Patrick's Day. I'm looking forward to this one. It's pretty good. So we have the Pishy Kloots, our Irish band.
Love this name.
Pishy Kloots.
The Pishy Kloots. They're playing from 3 to 6. We have the Thorns, local rock cover band, playing from 7:30 to 10:30, and all day we have the Game Changer food truck from Fossil Farms. This place is great. They've done our.
I love Fossil.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
It's all game meat, right? They did our
Wild boar
Oktoberfest.
sausage is one of my favorites.
They did our Oktoberfest.
Absolutely.
They did
This
a
is
wild
apple
boar
leather, right?
schnitzel. They did a
Whoa.
pork and foie gras bratwurst. They do their duck fat fries. So for this, unfortunately, I don't have the menu in front of me, but it's the same type of deal. It's just all sorts of great concoctions.
This is on Sunday.
This is on Saturday.
Saturday.
Now,
Yes.
what's interesting is Carrie and I had already made reservations, and all apologies to Ryan. We made reservations to Cloverleaf to be there because they've got a great celebration as well. We just may cancel it to show up because first of all, double tap beer, a band with a fantastic name,
Pishy Kloots.
the Pishy Kloots, and Fossil Farms. And it's hard to beat that. So
Yeah,
we got to we're really.
if I'm gonna come up on Saturday, I got to come up early because I won't promote anything else, but I have to host trivia. I'll tell you later at another venue much further south of you,
And west.
and south and west
Yes.
of you. So,
Not too far from Trenton.
not too far from Trenton.
Yeah.
So, but
I
anyway,
think Chris and I are working together on Saturday. So
unless they come up at like noon and stay there for a couple hours and then fail.
We may be canceling this. If they have the wild boar schnitzel,
No, they don't have the wild boar soup. They do have a wild. They have some wild boar. There is a wild boar dish. I know that.
Wild boar might
let's
be
see if I
my
can find it.
favorite cooked
It's
flesh
great.
out there.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
It's just, if anybody who's not had it, it's apologies to the vegan and vegetarian viewers.
Of course,
we have.
of course.
Take pork, but make it a little sweeter.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And,
The Fossil Farms wild boar sausage is some of the best sausage I've ever had.
and I did this once with my son. We did it on a dare to each other. We picked up some of their ground kangaroo and made burgers out of it.
Like McDonald's.
God, that was so
I've
good.
never had kangaroo. I've had ostrich. Obviously, I've had ostrich.
It was actually one of the. I gotta say, it was one of the best burgers because once we got our heads around past the fact that we're eating kangaroo, it was one of the best burgers I ever had.
Now, after you ate the burger, we hopping around.
Yeah.
From what I understand, kangaroo meat's got a real kick to it.
We'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't forget to tip your bartenders.
Try the veal.
Try the veal, best in the city.
I'm a dad.
There you go. He out dad joked you, John.
He did. You got me there,
that
Jeff.
one, though.
I'm sorry. All right.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. That's for
drink to
sure.
that one.
By the way, this Tommy Pivo from Elder Pine is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, how could it not be?
It's so good. I got to get more of those. If I do hook up more of these, I'll bring them up.
Yeah. So what other
Anyway,
events you got coming up?
Okay, so events. So other than this Saturday,
so St. Patrick's Day. We're excited because we are finally doing our first canning run this month. So
I heard that from somebody.
Yeah. So
Might have
we're
been you.
yeah, maybe. But so we're excited to
Do you have
start
a
finally
canning
getting.
line, or are you bringing?
No, we're going to use a mobile canner to start. You know, if an auction goes the right way from a certain other brewery, maybe I'll have a canning line. I don't know. There you go. John knows. There we go. There it is.
Picking through the bones.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it's we're looking forward to getting our beers out in cans for people to just walk away. So people like Dave don't have to pour 2.5 beers to get through a can.
I'm not crying.
But he's not upset about it. That's the thing.
Right? No. Yeah.
To quote Patensky again, what is it? I'm not mad at it.
No, there's zero suck in what.
No. The other one is I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. Right.
I'm not mad at it. That's his other quote.
That's his other one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We also have a little karaoke going on the 30th, a Saturday.
Don't invite us to that. You don't want it. No, you don't want
You don't want Dave and I singing.
Maybe I do. I don't know.
We will,
Well,
but you don't
that's
want.
all we want.
No, you don't.
The worse it is, the better it is.
There you go.
He speaks truth.
I was looking forward to it, but I'm gonna miss the karaoke because I do a killer version of "Love Gun" by Kiss.
Oh, nice.
Oh God, you got to.
Which,
You know
by
what?
the
You know what?
way-
You know. Hold on. I'll do Strutter. You do Love Gun. There you go.
There you go. Which, by the way, is what I actually wanted to name my oyster stout.
Strutter or Love Gun?
No, Love Gun.
Love Gun.
There you go. Because the
But,
aphrodisiac qualities
Yeah,
of
but
oysters.
Gene would probably sue us, so I was going to name it Romantic Revolver instead.
Yeah.
Well, that
I still love the name of his book, Kiss and Make Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
But,
little too on the nose, but still cool, still good.
It's okay.
There you go.
Sorry.
But anyway,
It's Gene.
It could have been more clever.
it's Gene.
And then we'll be down at the.
I'm sorry.
ACB Fest.
It's Chaim.
Chaim, yes.
Chaim Witz.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
I ran into him once.
Teacher from Long Island.
teacher from Long Island. Yeah.
I ran into
Did you
one
hear my
who's-
Long Island accent come out right there?
I heard it.
Island?
Long
Long
Island.
Island.
Long Island.
I tried very hard to get rid of it, and it comes through every once in a while.
But I did run into him once. This was the day, back in the day when I had a job where I had to wear a full suit, carry a briefcase.
As opposed to a half a suit.
Yes, like I wear now.
Don't stand up.
But he was, I know, he had just got done and got the bandages off when he had the facelift. You know, the highly publicized facelift.
I remember.
I'm pretty certain that he was the one who's contacting all the media outlets because we know he is a media and attention whore. No. And he's walking up, and I worked in New York City at the time, and we're near the Sony building, and I'm walking to my subway station, and he's walking the other way. He's got his two bodyguards, and he's trying to engage people. So being a celebrity trying to engage people in New York City, the rule in New York City is you leave the celebrities alone, right? It's one of the few
And the
cities,
crazy people.
and he qualifies as both.
Right, exactly.
So there's these two guys walk past him, and he's looking at them, and they both just go, stick their tongues out, throw up the horns, and then just go back to their conversation and walk away from him. Now he sees me. I'm in a full suit with a briefcase, and this big smile comes over his face. All I could do was laugh at how desperate he was for attention, that he's actually looking at someone who looks like an absolute corporate stooge to really engage with. And it's just like he's from the area. He should know that celebrities, we give celebrities their room. This is the one city probably on the planet where celebrities can do whatever they want, not have to worry about people wanting a selfie with them, want their autograph. You leave them alone. That doesn't work for Gene. No. Not at all.
No.
So I had to laugh. I couldn't stop laughing.
You gotta love that. All right. So AC Beer Fest, you got to be at AC Beer Fest, you said.
Yep.
All
Oh,
right.
nice.
So we will see you there, obviously.
Oh, awesome.
Which one?
Both. Yeah.
Both. Nice.
Both. Yeah. In any event, and you going somewhere else in April?
I think we're kind of going. Vegas is it?
I think that's where it is.
Are you going? Is the question. The last conversation we had, you hadn't made a decision yet.
That's a secret. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right.
And I can't make the April event because
he'll be drinking beer in Bamberg and Nuremberg, not Nuremberg, but Bamberg and Munich and
Freising
and Freising and over in Prague too.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
that's a little. It's
Yeah.
AC for sure.
So Chris, Jeff, Matt, I know you're still listening. Anybody else out there? I know I speak for all of us when I say
I will be sending so many pictures.
Well, I was in Munich in July, so I'm not that jealous.
You're not that jealous.
Jeff,
All right.
guys, give me notes.
Jeff,
give me notes.
Jeff, the last time Dave went over, he went to Italy, but he had a stopover in Munich, right? So he was just before noon. He had a layover in the airport in Munich for hours. So
5
he
hours.
left the 5 hours. So he left the airport and he went over to Schneiderweiss. He went over to Schneiderweiss.
Oh yeah.
And he sat there. He messages me or texts me or FaceTimes, whatever the hell he does.
No, I did a Facebook Live.
You did a Facebook Live to me, right? It's 7 a.m. here, and he's at Schneiderweiss drinking Aventinus, and I'm like, how can I get my middle finger in the phone?
Pointing behind me. Go. That's tap 6.
Tap 6, yeah.
Tap 6 is right there. This is what it's named after. Right when you check it into Untap, it says Aventinus in parentheses tap 6, and I was drinking it off of tap 6.
He was drinking off of tap 6.
It's really, really hard to. I expect to be able to beat that experience this trip, but that's going to be a hard one to beat.
It'll be hard. By the way, Matt, I think is signing off because he just finished at the gym. He said, "Cheers, guys," and before that, he said, "Home is where the pants aren't."
This is the truth. Him getting deep again. And cheers, Matt. So remember, don't skip leg day.
Don't skip leg day. Exactly. All right.
There's apparently a new brewery, not a new brewery, but a brewery in Munich that was closed when I was there. That's supposed to be phenomenal. And
I got my pen. I got some paper.
Figure out who it is, and I'll send you.
Yeah, you got to let me know what that is.
Sure.
Yeah, going through my pictures, see if I have the. I took a picture of their door, but it was
The door you couldn't enter.
apparently. Yeah, apparently they make all their stuff to German standards, but they haven't yet been approved to be an official Munich brewery.
Right.
Yeah.
That I got.
I was really disappointed I didn't have them.
Because we'll be there.
Oh, yeah, they are.
We'll be there on the weekend. Geisinger. Yeah. Geisinger. Okay, I will be looking that up.
And they have their tap room is Their tap room was right outside the square from
John,
the,
now they're just rubbing it in.
They're just
They're just yeah, right. This side of the screen is just getting the rub. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
all right. So anyway, Chris, while they're talking, how's
I'm
it
going to be
going?
in Atlantic City. I'm just saying.
I'll meet you down there. Where we good?
Yeah.
All right.
So Jeff, you were saying across the square from what?
so they're right outside the square where the big clock
We
is.
interrupted them.
Sorry, guys.
Yes. Yeah, you should shush. Oh, the big clock. So
We're not like we're doing a radio show or anything. So
Right. No.
So you're talking about Marienplatz, the Marienplatz?
Yeah, in Munich.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, they're on the Marienplatz in Munich. Okay, then I know where that is. Okay, that's not too far from Schneider, John.
Well, you have fun, Dave. All right.
Yes.
I shall send pictures.
I'm sure you will.
And
Just bring back beer and all's forgiven. There
That's
you
it.
go.
well, I will probably definitely bring back beer from Bamberg.
You better bring back beer from Bamberg.
And drinking that smoked Schwartz beer that they just put out, the Erla.
That we did last week, yeah.
Oh my God, that's such damn good beer. And they better, if they have that on tap there, I may just live there. I may just ask.
you may not come home.
I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere else.
Can I be
Das
the
is good.
Das ist gut. Das ist gut.
Das ist sehr gut. Can I be the brewery cat?
There you go.
I just want to be the
Yeah.
I'll sweep the floors.
I require 4 of these a day, and I'm good. There you
an
go.
occasional belly rub.
There you go.
But if you belly rub me, I will bite you.
This is true. Well, it depends on who belly rubs you, right? So,
This is true too.
anyway.
Yeah, if it's Katarina Witt.
All right. On that note,
Mhm.
let's digress into our top 3 list for the show.
And what is our top threes
Our
today?
top 3 list tonight. Last week, we changed it up a bit. As you know, this is the 172nd show, right? So
We're running out of ideas.
top 3 lists are kind of it's getting a little difficult to do beer lists all the time after 172 shows. So every now and then we switch it up. Last week we had just the 2 of us show, so we decided let's do top 3 favorite 1970s sitcoms. So today we're doing top 3 favorite 1980s sitcoms.
And
Top
next
3
week with our guests, we can probably do top 3 90s.
100% we will do top 3 90s.
We will do top 3 90s. And in about 5 shows from now, we are going to come up with future sitcom ideas.
Top 3 favorite future sitcoms that haven't been written yet. So
We will
There
get
you go.
ourselves a flux capacitor and go into the future.
we'll
and-
figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go.
Is this some kind of small dig to our age? I hope not, because of the 80s sitcoms.
Well, all 4 of us. Yeah, pretty
Right.
much.
Exactly.
Well, Dave,
Maybe.
look, Dave and I did 70s last week, so let's.
We could have done. We could have done 70s.
Oh no, I'm sure you could have.
Yeah.
we might even chat about it. All right.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, tonight is the top 3 favorite 80s sitcoms. So let's start it off. Jeff, you start us off. What is your top 3 favorite?
So, I got to be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of TV in the 80s. I was,
Oh, good for you.
it was
No.
high school, and I wasn't very well behaved in high school, so I wasn't always home at night. And then when I was
Good for
21,
you.
I was out. When I was 21, I was out finding craft beer to drink. I always loved Seinfeld. It was later in the 80s, but I mean,
It started
just
in the 80s.
humor-
It's an
I mean,
80s.
Its first episode was 1989.
Yeah, it's in
Was it
my
89?
mind.
Wow, they're late.
No, I mean we're going to do 90s next week, so you're not going to be on, so that's fine. But
That's fine. Yeah.
it's a 90s sitcom, but it started in the 80s, so 100% go for it. It's
Yeah.
Seinfeld is yours.
Yeah.
There you go.
I also did enjoy watching Cosby,
There you go.
if only because I always had a crush on Lisa Bonet.
Who didn't?
Oh.
So, I was a punk rocker back in the 80s, and she was kind of like a, what do they call it, bohemian hobo kind of vibe back then.
Oh, yes, you did.
So, yeah.
Remind me about that after we finish. I got something to say about that.
Yeah. And then, I watched a ton of, trying to think of what else I was watching back then. I went through a list. I was like,
So you probably
my
loved
God.
you probably loved Angel Heart then, Jeff.
don't remember it, honestly.
Lisa Bonet is in it.
Oh, right.
Um,
The movie.
the
Was
movie.
that with
Movie,
Mickey Rourke? Is that the one she
Mickey
was in?
Rourke and Al
Mickey Rourke,
Pacino? Al Pacino as Lou
Oh, Al
Sniper.
Pacino.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking
And,
of Al
and the other
Pacino,
one, and the other one was Newhart.
Newhart. There you go.
Newhart, the star
Took
power
one of mine.
in
You
that,
took one of mine, Jeff.
The star power in that
Yeah.
sitcom was amazing.
It doesn't matter. There can be crossover. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Well, just his dry sense of humor and
Mhm.
just
Bob Newhart's amazing.
It's-
Everything he does.
I loved it. Yeah,
And then Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
came out of that. And you
Uh-huh.
That was
had,
awesome.
And you had Peter Scolari.
Peter
fresh out of
Scolari.
Sure.
bosom
Yep.
buddies out in that.
Yep.
and I love Newhart because I used to watch his original show back in the 70s.
It's funny because we talked about Newhart last week and about how it's probably a good idea for individuals of our stature, let's say, to follow his
Men of a certain age.
yes, his calisthenic regimen that he had in that show. Right, we
Right.
should probably all adopt that.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
that's
Um,
it. Those are
that's
those. I mean, those are.
There you go.
I went through a whole list and there was a ton of stuff I remember. Like Alf, I guess was kind of
Alf.
fun.
That was my honorable mention. One of my honorable
Well,
mentions.
there you go. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna give both of you that because I'm writing.
He's
a
an
list here.
icon.
I'm giving both of you the Alf honorable mention.
I'll mention
all right?
yes.
So,
All right. So
We do a
all
lot
right.
of those.
All right, Chris. Your honorable mentions Alf.
so my number 3 would be Night Court.
Love
Richard Mall and
Sure.
what was the older
Harry.
bailiff? Harry was great, but I always liked last name was
Roz.
it Diamond? Roz, but there was an old one before Roz. It was something Diamond
Selma?
or something. Selma, there you go.
Selma
She
Diamond.
was just hilarious. She was so deadpan and
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The older one.
I loved her.
The
Yeah,
older
yeah,
lady.
yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, that
and
show was
the-
just, and John Larroquette got us pretty much got a start there. He
Pretty
was
much.
just
And,
And
God rest your soul, Marky Post. I
Yep.
was in love with Marky Post. So.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
don't even get
Yep,
started there.
yep.
But I think the original bailiff. Well, Roz got the role because the original didn't she? Pass?
Yes, because Selma passed away.
Passed,
That's
yeah.
right. Yep. My second one was Newhart as well. Again, the dry sense of humor, the Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, which I just loved. It was just a great. It was, and then Tom Poston as the handyman.
Tom
Oh,
Poston's
God,
great. I
yes,
love
yes.
Tom Poston. I love
Loved,
him.
loved them in Mork and Mindy.
Uh-huh.
He was awesome.
Oh yeah.
he was just great. And then of course number 1 was Cheers.
Cheers.
It was just a lineup of heavy hitters. I mean, everybody in that show. In fact, the 2 main characters, Sam, Diane, or Kirstie Alley's character, they were the weakest, probably the weakest link in
Yes,
all of it.
100% the weakest.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had, you had John Ratzenberger and George
I would
Wendt,
say-
and then Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Oh, Rhea
And
Perlman.
even-
I would say, God rest her soul. Kirstie Alley was probably the weakest
Yeah.
character. Then Diane, then Sam,
And then Frasier and his wife were just
Yep.
great.
Lilith. Yeah.
You know,
Lilith.
Eddie Olczyk,
Eddie was in it. Yes.
and I loved what was the guy? What was the one guy? He was Loretta. Look into my eyes, Loretta. He was the
Loretta.
It was Dan Hedaya. It was Dan Hedaya.
Dan Hedaya.
that was
yeah.
that was
I
That
loved
was
him.
Rhea's ex-husband.
Rhea's ex-husband. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It was great.
and the
so
bubble the bubblehead wife that he brought in with him.
Yes, Loretta.
Loretta.
And whenever she was off on a tangent, he was always like, Loretta, look into my eyes, Loretta.
And the thing is, that actress was actually the actress herself is smart, so you could tell how good of an actress she was to look that dumb on the show.
But that was just a great show all around.
Yep. And one of the characters is hidden by your right shoulder.
It is. I do have Cliff. We have a couple postal jackets hanging on the wall. Cliff Clavin's face is on one of them, and Newman is on the other one.
There you go.
Yep,
So Seinfeld and Cheers both represented on the wall.
that's right.
There you go. All right, Samurai.
God, I've got like 87 honorable
All right.
mentions.
Do one honorable mention, so that I have something that.
Can I say one quick honorable mention? Just got real quick.
Absolutely.
Greatest American Hero.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's a stupid show, but I went for him as
ridiculous,
Halloween
great, but
when I was like 10 years old.
It was a brilliant concept, though.
Please tell me there are
Right.
pictures.
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you just saying that? So
Look at
Superhero that
what's happened
lost
to
the
me.
instructions to the suit.
Hit me from out of the blue.
that was the best part. That
Was
the,
it? The song
that
was
was-
awesome.
That was one of the best MacGuffins. The fact that he had lost
The instructions.
the instructions to
to
the
the
suit.
Instructions. Yeah.
I got to figure. So I'm going to give you 2 honorable mentions, John.
Of course you were. Go ahead.
One is in honor of your partner, Taxi.
Okay.
Taxi, even though it started in the 70s, most of its run was in the 80s.
The biggest
Run of it. And look at who was in that. Judd Hirsch, Dan DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
You had the professor from
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, the man in the moon. You know,
come on, walk with me, talk with me.
Yeah. You had Ignatowski.
Latka, by the way, Latka.
Okie doke.
Okie doke.
Carol Kane was in this.
Yep.
This was a star-studded lineup.
Taxi was amazing.
So that's an honorable mention.
By the way, I just wanted my 3 that I had written down.
They're all gone.
Have all been mentioned already.
Yeah.
So I was still going to mention about. I'll give a couple other honorable mentions so I could talk about something that you guys didn't talk about. So,
but then another
did we
one
lose
is
Jeff, or did he go to the bathroom?
You probably would get a beer.
All right.
Yeah, probably. Another honorable mention is one of the British sitcoms, The Young Ones. This is
that was a good show.
Straight up 80s.
Oh yeah,
this was just ridiculous, asinine, childish humor, and I loved every second of every show they put out.
Fair enough.
Fart jokes.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that because I can get in a lot
Fart
of trouble.
jokes is enough.
Yeah, we'll go with fart jokes and leave it there.
Leave it there.
So, my number 4 was actually going to be Cheers, so we can leave that off. My number 3 was Night Court. Harry Anderson, I remember when he started in Saturday Night Live. They bring him out in Saturday Night Live and do some stand-up for him. I remember as a stand-up comic before he got that show. And his what I loved about the show was also his love of Mel Torme, the Velvet Fog.
Yeah.
They actually got him on the show eventually. So that I love that part of it. My number 2, going back to British, Blackadder. Rowan Atkinson. 4 seasons of it from 4 different periods of British history. And people who have not seen Blackadder know that this is where the actor who played House got his start. House is British. He's not an American doctor from Princeton. He started off there, and he started off as a complete fucking idiot. He was the moron through every one of those 4 incarnations of Blackadder, and I just loved that show. But my number 1 from the 80s, and it just epitomizes the 80s and just the jokes, the cast, everything from that was just amazing. It's the Golden Girls. Betty White. If you watch that show, you can look at the moments where Betty White actually starts to ad-lib, because you can see even B. Arthur start to almost crack up a little bit, but Rue McClanahan starts to lose it when she's starting to ad-lib. And it's almost every time she's ad-libs is when she's talking about Stain Olaf. So if you want to see Betty White at her improvisational best, Golden Girls, but just everything about that show is just spectacular.
Agree.
Loved it.
It's a good show.
So that's my number 1 80s, because to me that was the 80s.
All right. I'm going to give you my 3-2-1 just because they're my 3-2-1, and it's not going to change, right? But I'm going to give you. I'll do my honorable mentions once I'm done with my 3-2-1, since my 3-2-1 has already been mentioned, all of you, right? So my number 3 is Cheers. Okay, 100% Cheers. I loved watching Cheers. Okay,
who didn't? Who didn't?
The characters in that. I mean, Norman Cliff. You could have had a show with just Norman Cliff and no one else, and it would have still killed.
Just the odd facts that Cliff would throw out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, just the ensemble that they had and everybody that came in and out. It was amazing.
It's genius writing, great casting.
Right. And Frasier was bringing him in, and then he wound up obviously doing his own show, and I won't put that up there, but that's besides.
No. The shameless selfie.
So the selfie there.
John is famous for the shameless selfie.
Anyway,
he does. Frasier does sell mediocre beer, though.
he does.
So.
He does.
Yes. Yes.
I'll tell you a story when we're done. I got a lot of stories to tell you when we're done. So. Anyway,
that eventually, John.
Eventually, my number 2, Taxi. I just echo everything Dave said before.
What a
Taxi
cast.
was amazing cast. Loved every bit of it, and loved every minute of it. And Jess, there's one particular person on Taxi that Jess loves, but that's besides the point.
That's why I mentioned in honor of your partner, because his Jess
I wonder who it is.
met Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito last year, and I'll tell you about that after the show. We talked about it on the show, so we don't have to bring it up. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of shit. I can eat another beer for the after show.
Yeah,
so.
I gotta go.
Anyway,
I'm gonna switch.
And my number one is Newhart. I loved it, and my favorite part of Newhart was the fact that so I'm concurring with Jeff. Was the final episode.
Yep.
All right, we've said that before. The throwback, like it's all a friggin' dream.
Yep.
And he just wakes up back in Chicago with Suzanne Plachette.
Yeah,
You know?
that was the best.
That was 100%
so good.
100% the best final scene of any final episode.
Because
any TV show ever.
Because they basically went, "Hey, Dallas."
Yeah, exactly.
We did it better.
Yeah.
But I'm going to mention. I'm not going to talk about him a lot, but I'm going to mention a couple of honorable mentions. Alf, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not even mentioning it. I'm just going to bring that up. What did Alf stand for? Of course, we know this. Right?
Alien life form.
Alien life form. Right. What was his name? What was Alf's actual name?
I remember what planet he was from. I don't remember his actual name.
Melmac.
He was from Melmac, right? Yeah.
Yep.
But what was his name?
I don't remember.
Gordon Shumway.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Gordon
That's right.
Shumway. Yep.
Yes.
Gordon Shumway. But whatchamacallit, just a couple. I mean, Facts of Life.
Mm-hmm.
Molly Ringwald got her start on Facts of Life.
Also, George Clooney.
George Clooney got his start on Facts of Life.
Yep. That's one of my honorable mentions that I didn't mention.
There you go. Different Strokes.
Yes.
Yeah. That was one of those
Janet
things.
Jackson was on Different Strokes.
What did you talk about, Wills?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's Gary Coleman. That wasn't Janet Jackson.
No, that was from Different Strokes.
I know, I'm kidding. But Family Ties.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? Michael J. Fox met his future wife, Tracy. What's her name?
Morgan.
But remember, she leaves
Tracy
him on
Morgan?
No, not Tracy Morgan. No.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Lords?
Not Tracy Lords.
Not Tracy Lords?
That would have been
it.
Different
that would have been
Tracy's.
so rock and roll.
But his wife is he met her on.
Yes.
But
yes.
his that was his second to last girlfriend on Family Ties. His last girlfriend on Family Ties was Courtney Cox.
But yes, it was. But the thing is, the irony of him marrying his the first girlfriend, right,
Yeah.
was that she leaves him, breaks his heart,
Right.
and then we get Billy Vera and the Beaters write that song that made
Right.
everybody of our generation say, "No, that song didn't make me cry."
No.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, that song was a tearjerker.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy, what the hell was her name? Tracy. What's Michael J. Fox's wife's name? Maiden name.
Brian. Why isn't our
Jimmy.
fired him?
Jimmy.
We fired Barb.
Oh, we fired Brandon and Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, we fired them both.
You check it out. I'm gonna say, and then I'm just gonna throw a couple others out there. Not that these are even in my honorable mentions, but they're just probably the next ones up. Bosom Buddies, Tom Hanks.
Tracy Poland.
Tracy Poland. That's it. Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks.
Bosom Buddies was on mine as well, and you just took
and Peter Scolari.
Peter Scolari, but you got to remember, Tom Hanks got his start there.
Yep, exactly.
And the thing is, if you look now, and I think Tom Hanks probably felt bad about making it big, pun intended, because almost every movie that Tom Hanks makes, Peter Scolari's in it.
Well, not so much anymore.
Huh?
Not so much anymore.
Well, Peter Scolari's dead now.
Right.
Yeah. But prior to him passing away.
He passed, yeah. So
if you look through almost every movie except for maybe the one with the volleyball. Maybe the volleyball is supposed to be Peter Scolari.
Mm-hmm.
He's in almost every Tom Hanks movie.
Chuck, what's the top 3 list tonight? Just joining, so a bit lost. It's top 3 80s sitcoms. So
and
hey, Chuck.
Chuck can speak on this.
Which we got.
Speaking about Bosom Buddies,
just gonna throw up Perfect Strangers.
Yes. Yeah.
Balky.
I love that one.
Balky, yeah.
Balky Bartakamoose.
Exactly.
Another one
Cousin Larry Appleton.
I gotta throw out there. It's Facts of Life.
I just said that before.
Did you? But did you say that? Oh, no,
Oh,
we
yeah.
did talk about that.
I
One.
did.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I brought up George Clooney and all that, but
Chuck says, "Hey guys, there you go."
Yeah.
hey,
And then the only other one I want to throw up, only because of the father in it, is Mr. Belvedere with
Yes.
Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker.
I'll tell you a really funny one, and this is, it ended in the 80s, and no one else has seen it, whatever. My wife is Cuban, and there was a show called Que Pasa USA, and it was bilingual, and it was about these American children and the grandparents and the parents who came over, and they all lived together. It was some of the funniest comedy I've ever seen.
Really?
And you've actually seen the son. His name is Stephen Bauer, and he's been in a ton of stuff. You've seen him in a bunch of
Isn't
stuff.
that the guy from Ghost Hawk?
He might be. Yeah, there he is. Yes. Same guy. Same guy. Yeah, you didn't know he's Cuban. Yeah.
Steve, I didn't know
Never,
you were
I
Cuban.
didn't know he was Cuban.
Yeah, different guy.
Que
But
pasa, Steve?
this show was, and I didn't watch it, of course, until I was dating my wife. But I speak very little Spanish, and but it's such Spanglish, and the grandmother in it is the fun. It is so freaking funny. It's like something that like most of us have never heard of, but it was just such a funny show that no one ever heard of. It was just great.
There you go. That's awesome.
And Chuck gave us his top three.
Chuck gave us his top three.
Oh, let's see it.
Although Chuck's top three, with all due respect, Chuck, I love
mostly
you.
90s.
But they're 90s sitcoms. But
Almost every
they
single one.
started in the 80s, but they're 90s sitcoms. But
Yeah.
we're going to give them anyway.
Yeah.
Chuck's top three is Married with Children, Seinfeld, and Roseanne. So,
And it's funny.
Roseanne
'cause
did start in the 80s.
It started in the 80s.
all three of them started in the 80s.
All three, but
They did start.
But
they were big in the 90s.
Mhm.
Roseanne, her stand-up comedy was hilarious, but I couldn't stand the voice. Loved the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you want to do something for me? Do my laundry, make me a sandwich. It was one of the funniest things. But another one that I loved in the 80s.
And her daughter's boyfriend wound up being in a lot of
Roseanne.
movies, but he was
Big
in
Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was also the son in Christmas Vacation too.
he was.
Yes.
One
Yes, he was.
of the iterations of the son.
Well, no, every
Christmas,
vacation,
Yeah.
They
Christmas
changed it.
Vacation, yeah, every
Mhm.
every one was different.
No, I love that show. But
What's funny was that the four vacations was Anthony Michael Hall, was what's his face,
David Galecki.
David Galecki, and Ethan Embry was the Vegas Vacation. I could not even begin, unless I look on IMDb, I could not even begin to tell you the actor that played the son in European Vacation.
no one cares.
No.
I should have worn that shirt anyway. But another one was not brought up, and I really did enjoy this one, was My Two Dads.
Yeah.
And I loved it because this is where Paul Reiser got his start there,
Sure.
Yep.
right? And then went on to Mad About You, but also Dick Butkus
Yeah,
was in this,
he was.
and Dick Butkus doing comedy. That was a joy to watch.
It's amazing how many of those football players ended up like
Well, like
a Webster,
yeah,
right?
Alex Harris.
Yeah, correct.
And there was another one too. It just like so many of these guys ended up doing like sitcoms and stuff.
But My Two Dads was also Greg Evigan, who was BJ and the Bear.
Yep.
Right. That was his original.
That was his one. Yeah.
So no, I really enjoyed it. It only lasted like 2 years though.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed it.
And wasn't the judge Fish's wife from remember
Yes.
Fish?
Yes.
Abe
Fish's
Vigoda.
wife.
Abe
Abe
Vigoda.
Vigoda's wife in Barney Miller.
In Barney Miller, yeah.
Well, she
And-
never
and
appeared
Fish.
in Barney Miller. She
And
appeared in
Fish,
Fish.
yeah.
I don't think she ever appeared in Barney Miller.
They
She was
spoke of her in Barney Miller, and then she appeared in Fish. Yeah. Absolutely.
He was a great character. Fish.
Oh, Abe Vigoda was
Mm.
amazing. I loved Abe Vigoda. Yeah, that was
one
great.
of the best.
Absolutely. So
And how many times did Abe Vigoda die? It's a great internet joke.
he's still going. He's 135 now.
Saw him last week.
In
Exactly.
fact, the thing is, when he did finally die,
He's haunting the brewery apparently.
There you go.
There you
Cat,
go,
there's your
Cat.
answer.
Abe Vigoda's haunting
Abe
the brewery.
Vigoda's haunting the brewery. Yeah.
When he finally died, no one would believe it.
What's that?
When he finally died, no one believed it. They're like,
Oh,
it's just
right, yeah, it's
just
another
a-
one of
it's just
those,
a
yeah,
joke.
Right. Yeah.
And he was in Godfather, right?
He was a
Yes, he was.
Godfather.
He was the one who garroted. Who's the one that slept with the fishes?
Oh, Chris, you say it all the time.
Oh,
sleep with the fishes, right?
yeah.
Sleeps with the fishes.
Lou.
That guy. No, it wasn't.
I can't
Lou.
remember.
Wow! Oh my God! One of my
No,
favorite quotes in the
How
Godfather.
How come none of us
Take
can
it-
remember
Gotta
that?
take our jersey cards away.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Here,
You check. Go ahead. Go.
Luca Brasi.
I said Lou.
Brazzi.
Luca Brasi. Luca Brasi. I
couldn't
said
remember.
Lou.
You
Luca
said
Brasi.
Lou. Luca
Luca
Brasi.
Luca Brasi.
Chuck.
Luca
Actually,
Brasi.
Chuck got it before I did. Actually, we just weren't paying attention. Thank you, Chuck.
Well, he said he made him Polish.
No.
He made him Brasi.
No, he made it Polish. Yes.
He made him Polish. It's
Luca
Luca
Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Luca Brasi.
But it was actually Ava
Luca. No, it's Luca Broski. There you
Broski. Broski. That's very Jersey right there.
That's very Jersey. I made a Jersey.
But Abe Vigoda is the one who garrots Luca Brodsky. I believe.
Luca Brasi. Yeah, I should have remembered that. Yeah, he did. Anyway, all right. Great segment.
It's been a lot of fun.
Back to beer for a moment,
Yes,
moment, if you will.
Oh, this is a beer podcast.
It's a beer podcast, exactly. What's coming up? What's coming down the pipe for Double Tap? Beer wise, events wise, later this year, next year, future.
And the expansions. Well, we know you're going to start canning and just.
But
And what's the distribution look like?
We're just starting to line up a bunch of liquor stores as we speak. Going around talking to them, getting them all set up.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down the line, we'll have our Mexican lager back, our Lucha Libre Mexican lager. So that'll be coming back soon. A few summer
Cinco
beers.
de Mayo?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have our. What else we got, Jeff?
So we're going to brew another something for the beer engine. We've got another kegger still left of our mild. We're going to probably do maybe another bitter, maybe a British Golden Ale, something for that. So
Well, I don't know. I can't tell you the last
fun.
time. I can't tell you the last time I had a British Golden Ale.
Yeah, they're a fun
Oh,
beer. They're
oh,
very
wow.
similar to an American IPA
Yes.
style wise, but it's got a British hop. It's almost like a low ABV British IPA.
With and you can actually taste
Still
malts.
more forward. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
So
can
it's
taste
basically it's all like Golden Promise or Maris Otter, and so
Very nice.
yeah.
Nice.
We got our summer lager that we brewed last year, which will be out probably towards the end of. We like to release. I mean, last year it's only our second year, so we're still trying to figure out what works for everyone. Seem to release stuff around Memorial Day for the summer. Kind of kick off the summer. That's what we might do again this year with that Kite and Key Summer IPA and their summer lager.
We got the new Beer Lab beer will be coming out. We're doing a lavender honey blonde.
Ooh, nice.
So that was fun to make. Yeah, so
Wow.
that should be good.
It should be
Lavender honey
released on
blonde.
the
That's nice. Higher,
it should be released
mid, lower ABV, mid.
What did you?
lower.
Lower.
I think it's
Lower?
like 4.7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so where does the honey come in? Because honey, you can really ratchet up the ABV with honey.
Yeah, you put in enough. Yeah.
So when we brewed it, we calculated what the honey was adding to the ABV. So
Backed it off enough.
we took that into account. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Sounds fantastic. Gotta have that.
Yeah. I may have to join the club.
Yeah. So lately we've
I'm
really
there
just been
enough.
focusing. I'm sorry.
I get there enough, so
Right. Absolutely.
Lately, we've really just been focusing on getting everything for the canning perfect. So we laid out our brew schedule. We made sure everything was absolutely perfect. And now we have all the beers in fermenters, either fermenting, conditioning, like with the Pilsner, getting ready for canning. And then once those are all out, we're going to have three fermenters to fill again once canning's done.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
I think another great thing about the experience at your brewery is you get the beer tourists come in who just like we need to go and get to these breweries. The people from away, a little ways away that'll get there. But you've become quite a community brewery. You always see people having their birthday parties there. You see kids in the brewery. You see dogs in the brewery. It's really quite a family affair going on there, and that's got to be gratifying for you guys to see the way the community has embraced the brewery and made it a place to be.
Yeah, this area, I mean, good for us, bad for others, but they lost a really great place to drink and eat. Billy's Red Room.
Oh God! When Billy's burnt down,
yeah,
I was in tears when Billy's burnt down.
I mean, it was still standing when it was done, but it's still standing when we took
when you got the building. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now so they lost Billy's.
Get their pickle recipe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
And then during COVID, Molly Malone's, the Irish pub right over across the street on Route 10, that went out of business, and
I've drank it.
So the neighborhood's kind of hurting. I mean, they still got good old Zagurski's up the block.
Zagurski's is one of the greatest old man bars you're ever going to be in.
It's awesome.
But the food is great there.
The food is good. You're
so
not
good.
wrong. Yes. Yes, absolutely. People, we close on Fridays and Saturdays at 11, and people stumble up the block. We're literally, we're
Zagurski's
half a block up the road.
Yeah, Zagurski's closes when Zagurski's closes. That's right. Yes. And so, we have people that will stumble up the block and finish the night off there. So the neighborhood was looking for another place that they could go and, enjoy some beer and a good place to hang out. And that was kind of what our vision was. We wanted a place that was just comfortable. It was a place that you wanted to come, hang out, have a few beers, meet with friends, that type of thing. You do got to work on the drainage in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is when I was there on Saturday, I was wearing my waterproof
when it was
boots.
raining like cats and dogs.
God. It was ridiculous. And so if you pull in the very first spot on the right there,
I usually park there.
That becomes a pool.
It does.
But the best part of it is I was wearing my waterproof boots, so I dropped carry off and I parked there because I know.
Yeah.
I can walk through there and not get wet. So that spot was open, even though people were parking your auxiliary lot.
That's right.
Off to the side there. It's like, I can park right next to the brewery because I've got the boots to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, it's funny you mention that because parking is one of the struggles that we have.
Yeah.
We have 22 spots or something.
We have 21
in the
spots.
parking lot.
Yeah, we have 22 spots in the parking lot, right?
And then we have, the auxiliary lot, which is,
and you've gotten popular. Grass?
And
no. It's mud.
It was grass at some point.
It was grass. Well, we had the town made us plant it in grass to open, and then we started parking on it. So we understand that people sometimes get frustrated.
You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's places to park. If you can find them, contact us. We might be able to tell you other options.
Yeah.
On the weekends, there's across the way. There's
weekends are actually not bad because
bad.
most places are closed and we have a little more room. But
you got more room.
But we're also offering $5 off your tab if you take a ride share and you show us the receipt. Trying to trying to get people to
say that again. $5 off your tab if you take a ride share and show the receipt. So
show the Uber screen.
Start a tab at the end of the night. Show us your receipt, and we'll take $5 off your tab.
There you
go. Yeah. I commend that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very
100%.
Awesome.
I like that.
I've never heard that before. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about the tap room is it was an old post office. You've kept a lot of the elements of the post office in the tap room.
The town was very big this town is very big on preserving history. We saw a lot of comment. I hope they're going to, I hope they're going to make sure that people know it's a post office. And we always had intention. You're sitting outside. It's a single story brick building. It looks like a 1960s government building. I mean, it couldn't be anything else but some sort of institutional building, right? So, we have stamps on the bar. The post office, when they moved out, left the plaque that dedicated the building with John F. Kennedy in 1961.
You're kind of looking right at it, aren't you? Where you're sitting?
It's behind me, actually.
It's behind you.
Yeah,
You've got some of the old post office boxes, or
we have
just
the
as you
old
walk
post
in the
office
front door.
boxes, right? We have another plaque they left behind of the postmasters of Whippany from 1800 to 1957.
Wow.
And so it's kind of a cool little. It's a cool thing. Then we have our postman hanging on the wall.
Neat postal history of Whippany right there in the brewery, preserved. Love it.
The only thing we don't have is the disinterested workers in the tap room who could care less about your needs. So we really, joking aside, we really strive to get service as fast as we can. We try to train our servers on what we're serving, and so they know all about it. Usually one of the partners is working, so they can talk about the beer, talk about the history of the building or the brewery. So
and Chris's son is one of the beer meisters.
He is. He's
we saw him on Saturday.
He's pouring some beer. And when you come, make sure you check out the bullet holes in our windows.
Yes.
Back in the 70s, someone shot up the post office, and there's 3 bullet holes in our front windows.
Someone went postal, huh?
That's exactly what they did. Yep.
There you go.
So, yeah, definitely. This is a place that John and I will both, and Matt as well, and recommend. You guys are pumping good liquid, really good liquid.
Appreciate it.
It's why anytime
we really try.
That's why we wind up there almost every time we're out there. Because I'm in Union City, and you've seen how many times I've been there. It's not exactly my local brewery.
No. Could bring me a Cuban sandwich when you come, though,
Oh, you want Cuban?
You could do that.
It'd be nice.
You could do that.
I could bring we get some pretty decent Cuban sandwiches.
You do, absolutely.
So what he's referencing is Union City is the second largest Cuban population in the United States.
There you go.
Yeah,
next to Miami.
I was going to say next to Cuba.
Next in the United States, Cuba.
In the United States.
We actually have a larger Cuban population here than in Tampa.
This is true. This is true. So,
which is insane.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having
us. Thank you.
An amazing show. Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
Really, guys, get to Double Tap. If you're anywhere, if anybody listening to this, if you come to Jersey, get to Double Tap in Whippany. If you're in Jersey, get to Double Tap in Whippany. Yeah. All right. Yeah. If you haven't already, and even if you have already, get back here.
Go back. Come on back. We're not looking at Gene because we know Gene will be back.
Gene's going to be back. But stay with us for a second. We're going to talk to you after the show. On that note, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel, as I talk over whatever TV show is playing in the background. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, which used to be Twitter, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, give or take. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Guys, thank you so much for coming on
Absolutely.
again.
Thanks for coming
on. Thank you.
Jeff, Chris, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Awesome show. Get your ass to Double Tap whenever you can.
Yep.
And we will and have a great weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
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 Cheers, guys.
Cheers.